Hello, 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 everyone. It's me, it's your girl, Sia Knight, the college savvy coach. And I'm so happy to be here with you because this is one of my favorite topics. This is something that I think that people really need to hear about. And what I'm going to talk about today is how to finish the school year strong and how to prepare for a next school year, especially if you have a rising senior. And it gets tough because if you want to think back with me, think back when your child was entering preschool, entering kindergarten. We were really on top of things. We were thinking about, okay, this school year's ending. I wonder if my son will have Miss Smith next year. I wonder what's going to happen. Or what if you had to transition from one school to the next? It was something that was definitely in your mind, transitioning from one school year to the next. Now, let's talk about transitioning to the very last school year in K-12 education. So let's talk about that. And in order to talk about that, I'm going to share some slides with you. I'm going to give you some insight, give you some advice. And my goal, my job, my mission is to make this a much easier process because here's what I know. I know from being a counselor, I was a high school teacher, an assistant principal, it gets harder, not necessarily easier as your child moves through school. Can we all agree with that certain thing? So what I want to do in my job as the college savvy coach is to help give information, insight, and um, education to make this process easier. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to talk about how to step into senior year. And I want to talk about how to help your rising 12th grader excel. It's a very exciting time, but a tough time. It's a time of transition. So senior year of high school, you have confusion on both the side of the parents and the side of the student. So the student is having this new sense of independence. Oh, I'm getting ready to graduate from high school. I don't need you. You don't tell me what to do. I'm almost in college. But on the other hand, let me tell you, parents, they need you. They need you. Sometimes they need you to be that guide on the side to help them figure out next moves, next steps. And then for you as the parent, it's also confusing because you remember, oh, my baby, I remember when you were giving those handprints and you're for Mother's Day and you had that little poem. And I remember, okay, but on the other hand, you're thinking, okay, when is this joker leaving? Because he is giving me heart palpitations. I'll be so happy when he's gone. So it's a time of transition and it can be a time of emotional turmoil. Okay, so let's put that on the table. Let's get real with that. The crucial questions are this: what's the best way to step into senior year? And how can we help to strengthen my senior's profile? Okay, so let's talk about those two things. And let's talk about them now at the end of this year so that you're not scrambling, you're not searching, you're not about to tear your hair out because it is October, it's November, it's December, and you don't know what to do. Or you know what to do, but you can't get your child to do it. It's a lot. So I'm going to ask you to breathe and let's go through this together. Okay, so next, here's what I want you to pay attention to. Here's some summer items that I want you to think about on your checklist: internships, community service, college admissions testing, course selection. Well, we've already chosen the courses for senior year. I know, I'm going to talk to you about that. A college application strategy, and we're going to talk about scholarships. It's a lot. I'm going to warn you up front. This is going to go fast, but hopefully you're taking notes, you're listening, you are not washing dishes while you're listening. However, I'm the queen of multitasking, so I understand. But the point is, I hope that you can get all of this information in, because this is going to help your lives become much easier, because it's about to get much more hectic. All right, let's go. Internships. Let's talk a little bit about internships. Now, the summer before senior year, hopefully you've already done this. If not, maybe there's still a shot. I want you to work with your child to seek meaningful work experiences, either paid or unpaid. Okay, so if your child wants to major in finance, what about a part-time job at the bank? If your child wants to be a veterinarian, how about volunteering at the animal shelter? Something that's going to give them hands-on work experience. Sometimes it's just shadowing someone in a field that they think they want to go into. And some of these things can be very formal, and there's a long application process. And if you've missed that, don't fret, don't fear. Do you have a friend who knows somebody who knows somebody who does the job that your child wants to do? It can be something informal, because when it's time to write on those college essays, they're going to want to know about those experiences. So, first thing, internships. Let's move on. Community service. Community service. Now, community service is important because we're not going to only mention it on college applications, but most scholarship applications ask about community service. Now, when I talk about community service, I always feel a little nervous. Why? Because I don't want people to think that all community service it's not valuable unless you're doing it at the highest level. I'm not saying that. However, I do want you to be very clear. So, a standard example of community service could be feeding the homeless. Okay, and that's a noble act. It is wonderful. However, if you think you're going to get the attention of Ivy League schools just by doing something like that, just know, and I use this example all the time, the students who are getting into the Ivy League schools, getting into Stanford, getting into those really ultra competitive schools, they are building a homeless shelter in their backyard using recycled materials. They are raising an organically grown garden, and they're feeding the homeless all nutritionally dense foods. So it's just a whole different level. It's a whole different level. So I want you to think about that when you are thinking about community service for your child and what to do during the summer. Think about just ramping it up a bit. If that's the level of school that you think your child's going to apply to, think about ramping up your efforts just a bit. Next, college admissions testing. Now, most seniors take the ACT or SAT in September, October. But, here's something. This is new. This is brand new. August. This year, and I'm taping this in 2017, this year, the SAT will be given in August for the very first time. So those of you who have children who are planning to apply early decision, then they can go ahead and take that test. Hopefully they've already taken it once, but if you want them to take it again, they can take it again in August. So that's what I want you to keep in mind. Also, pay close attention to deadlines. Pay close attention to the deadlines, because if your child is a real strong candidate for early action or early decision, what I want you to do is I want you to make sure that you have that testing piece out of the way. And then here's another question. Does your child's intended school require the SAT too? And you're saying to yourself, what in the name of righteousness is the SAT too? It's a test, it's a subject area test. Some schools say, hey, SAT 1, which is what we think of with the SAT, the math and verbal, and now the optional writing. But also, there's the SAT 2, which could be biology, it could be chemistry, it could be Spanish. So there could be an additional requirement. So I know this is a lot. This is a lot. I don't want you to panic, though. I don't want you to panic. I just want you to breathe. Stick with me, and I'm going to help walk you through this, okay? Next, course selection. Have one last look at your students' senior year classes before school starts. Now, I know some schools are very, very tight about whether or not you can change the courses, but usually if it's before school starts, they'll give you a little wiggle room. Now, I want you to know that back in my day, back in the 20th century, it was senior year slack. Okay, so you could take underwater basket weaving senior year, and then you could have a couple of study halls and maybe take an AP government and AP English, and you're good to go. Colleges and universities don't want to see that anymore. You have to make sure that your student is continuing to challenge him or herself, as well as the one thing, and I'll just mention it here, I'm just going to mention it here, taking math senior year. This is a conversation that has caused many, many fights. Do I want to say arguments? Do I want to say harsh words in the family? My belief, students need to take math senior year. There are very few exceptions. So that's my general rule. If you want to know specifically how I feel about it and how it would apply in your unique situation, you need to contact me, because that's a real sticking point, and it's a sticking point for the colleges and universities as well. All right. Next, the college application strategy. You have to have this tightened up before the school year begins. In fact, early part of summer, you want to make sure you have your calendar at least halfway done. You're going to be bombarded with information all over the place. Some of you have already gotten some things in the mail, snail mail. Some of you are getting different email messages. Your children are getting this message. There's a lot of stuff to think about. You've got to get organized. And being organized is the best way to help you get through senior year. Now, I'm telling you that I am telling you about some of these items, some of these different things to keep in mind, and you're already hyperventilating. Please don't do that. My motto is to plan it so you don't have to panic. Plan it, don't panic. And if you use a system that works for you, use a system that works for you, like a spreadsheet, a folder system, a Word document, something that will help you keep everything on track. When I work with clients, I do, it's a spreadsheet. And what we do is we come up with the name of the college, deadline, regular deadline, early deadline, and then here's one last thing, the priority deadline. Because you can think you're in great shape. Let's say your child wants to go to the University of Maryland, hypothetically speaking, and you find out that Maryland's deadline is January 1. Okay, your child's applying regular decision, you're in good shape. So over the holidays, winter break, you're having a great time, you're cooking, the family's together. And then as your child is completing the application, he realizes, oh, there was a priority deadline. If I wanted to apply for scholarships, I had to apply by December 15th. That happens way too often. So what I want you to do is I want you to pay attention to every detail. It's hard, but it can be done, okay? Now, I think the last thing I want to talk about overall, scholarships. You have to make sure that you emphasize with your child that they have to be diligent about seeking out and applying for scholarships. Senior year, it's very, very busy. Your child is going to get excited and they say, oh, I'm a senior. So at the beginning of the year, they may do some work, and then comes the time to apply for all the colleges and universities. And let's say that part is over, November, December, January. And then they're like, oh, I'm done. I'm out. I'm good. That's prime scholarship time. And if you don't have a system, a calendar, a schedule in which to do that, you could sleep on a lot of good opportunities. And a lot of the opportunities come when the students are tired. And I know y'all are already tired. So what I want you to do is know that the time is now to set up for a successful senior year. The time's now. Do you know when your child was, let's think back when your child was in first grade, second grade, and people were talking to you about them getting ready to go to college, and you're thinking about it, you're like, oh, okay, I've got some time. I've got, 10 years, and then I've got 5 years, and then um, he's a sophomore, so I've got a couple of years, and then it's here. It's here. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to run. Don't walk. Actually, I don't even want you to run or walk. I want you to sit at your computer after I finish this presentation. And I want you to sign up for the Senior Summer Virtual Academy. Now, what is this going to do? This is going to help you maintain your sanity. I'm doing a 4-week virtual academy. It's all via the interwebs, the computer. Now, during this 4-week academy, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work with a limited, and I do mean very limited, like 10, number of students. And we're going to come up with the college list. We're going to start writing college essays. And I do mean we're going to start this in June. We're going to develop a college admissions calendar, and we're going to also develop a college admissions testing strategy. All of this goes on the calendar. So this is what I am offering because I get tired every year around April, May, June, parents coming to me saying, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. My child, he's a senior, he's about to graduate. We need help with this. He hasn't taken the FAFSA. And he hasn't done the FAFSA. The FAFSA now is available in October. What do you mean? So, I want to make sure that you are able to get on top of these items. I don't want you to be buried by all of this senior year stuff. So, let me tell you, what is it worth to you? I want you to sit back and think about this. The peace of mind. How much quality family time would you have if your child will have started, maybe even finished? How about this? Think about that. What if she finished her college applications before the summer was over? Take that in for a second. How much time will be saved? I mention the holidays and winter break because it happens every year. I get frantic emails, I get frantic phone calls. Oh, can you help us? I want to be with my family too. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that as many people as possible are able to save time and also save money. Here's the deal. I have so many students who apply to colleges that they shouldn't. I'm going to put it out there. But they haven't done the work. They haven't done the background. They haven't done the vetting because time's getting close. It's getting tight. Oh no. So let's just apply. Let's just apply. Do you know we're talking $50, $75, $85 a pop for each application? So no, we're not doing that. What I want to do is I want to help your child come up with a strategic list. a strategic list. So, what's the investment? I've already told you about the time, the money, all of the peace of mind. What's the investment? So, this is worth way more than $9.97. It is. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm cutting that in half. $497 for a 4-week virtual session. Drop the mic. Well, actually, I don't want to drop it because it's kind of fragile, but I would. Okay, just imagine me dropping the mic. Because one thing I wanted to do with this academy is I wanted to make it accessible. And I also wanted to make it hands-on. That's one reason why I'm not taking 50, 60, 100 students in this. I'm only doing 10 students per session so that we can have good quality time. You and your student will have access to me through a Facebook group, also via email. So the catch, as I told you, only 10 spots are available. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to, I told you to run, don't walk. Actually, if you're right at your computer, you don't have to walk or run. I want you to let your fingers do the talking. Boy, how old am I? That's an old phone book commercial. bit.ly/Senior Summer Academy. Go to that link and sign up. Don't wait till later. Don't go panicking when it's July, August, September because you haven't started with the process. So bit.ly/ and you have to make sure that these letters are uppercase because the bit links, they're very, very picky if you don't type it exactly the way it looks. So a few parting words. Keep in mind the big picture. One way or the other, 365, 400 days will pass, and your child will be on their way. So I want you to think about this. How do you want to do it? Do you want to do it in a way that's nice and calm and relaxing and methodical and strategic, or do you want to be frantic? Okay. Pay attention to detail, especially, here's one thing. Here's another pet peeve of mine. When it comes to scholarships, make sure that you're reading the instructions. Make sure you're reading the instructions very carefully. Make sure your child is reading the instructions very carefully. Make sure that you're keeping the student balanced. Again, that's that time factor. You do not want to have a frantic, crazed child on your hands. And you don't want to be frantic and crazed, okay? And take some time to enjoy. Why? Because your child only gets one senior year, if you're lucky. Yeah, one senior year. And what I want to do to help is I want to make sure that I can help walk you through this process to make some of the stress, overwhelm, frustration, I want it to melt away. I want you to walk through senior year with ease. And if you look on Facebook now, you see a lot of proud parents. They're with the children with the caps and gowns, and they're all, teary-eyed. I want that to be you next year, and I want those to be tears of joy. All right, everyone. That's it for this training. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Don't forget bit.ly/Senior Summer Academy. 10 spots available. By the time this goes out, probably 8 spots available. So make sure that you hurry up. And when the spots are gone, they're gone. So I will see you guys all over the interwebs, all over social media. And until next time, guys, stay savvy. Bye. Bye, guys.